I would say, Peter, that people who have been to Trump rallies are not unfamiliar with the very long Trump speech, but the difference I think here is that the tone was so subdued for the first 30, 45 minutes. It was almost sleepy. And I think Donald Trump was realizing that the crowd was not responding to that. I wasn't there. You were. Did you get the sense that Donald Trump was started going into the Hannibal Lecter thing, started doing comedy?
I kind of thought that, I actually kind of thought that it was sort of brilliant, the whole first 45 minutes, because, of course he makes some opening remarks and he segues pretty quickly into the story of the near assassination, and of course he goes into great detail, and look, I agree with Jonah. I think it was very powerful, very evocative. The woman behind me was crying, and I think what he I was kind of crammed in between about 50 Trump supporters in this kind of aisle, about maybe 30 feet from the former president, and people were visibly really moved. And I think what he did that was very effective was he created this. If you listen to the speech, he uses the first person plural a lot, and so he creates this impression that this attack on him was an attack on them, an attack by extension on America. And when he feels the blood coming down, he's suffering for them. I mean, there's a lot of Christ-like imagery here. And then of course he stands up. There's the raised fist. And he says, we fought back. I fought back because that's what America does. We fight, and the crowd starts chanting, fight, fight, fight. I mean, there's this feeling that you get when you're there of these people, just they feel so connected to him. But I think maybe more importantly, or just as importantly, they feel really connected to each other. And there's this it's amazing. I've covered other campaigns. I've never seen that, the sense of community among the kind of the Trump supporters, the Trump base.
I think that's right. And it's for the Free Press, I went to a Trump rally. It was supposed to be a UAW rally, and I want to talk about that in a second too, but it was in Detroit. And the number of people I talked to who said, my friends, this friend, that friend, and I realized when talking to them that they all had met on Facebook groups devoted to Donald Trump. And there is that sense of community. I'm wondering, in a way, how it played outside of Donald Trump's fan base. And I know you're going to talk to some people there and get some reaction. But do you have someone there to talk to, Peter?
We do. Please. I'm Peter, and you are?
Peter, Tori.
Hi, Tori. It's so nice to speak with you, and I appreciate you taking the time.
Yes, of course.
So, Tori, where are you from?
I'm from Ohio.
Okay, you're from Ohio.
Yes.
And you are a delegate?
No, I was not.
You were in the hall.
Correct.
We were just talking now about sort of this feeling of kind of community among the Trump supporters, of sort of this kind of sense of connection. I wonder, sort of, it's just not just between supporters and Trump, but supporters with each other.
Yes.
I wonder if you could comment on that.
Okay, so right now our country is fractured, as we can all understand, right? We're extremely fractured. Unity is of importance. Now, let's be fair, a lot of Republicans aren't very happy with their selection of VP. There were so many camps. But the one thing that they are sure of is that whoever it is, President Trump is their president. And he inspires them to be unified and empowers them to want to do better as a country. So we see that what you want to say is unification. It's the people agreeing that, phew, this time, we may have more control over the elections, more control over what is happening in order to ensure that, we have free and transparent elections too.
You were saying some people were unhappy with the choice of vice president?
Yes.
What exactly were they unhappy about?
Well, there were a lot of people. I mean, I'm not very happy, but I support my president.
What do you object to exactly about Senator Vance?
Well, I would have expected someone with a little bit more of foreign policy, only because of the climate right now in the world. I mean, he could get crash course, but that would mean that he would have to rely a lot on his staff. And that was a problem with Pence. The problems that we had within the first Trump administration were coming out of Vice President Pence's office. So,
Tori, thank you so much for taking the time. Have a good night. Thank you. I think we have someone else.
I'm the political director for the National Federation of Republican Women.
Nikki, thank you so much. Here, please come. If you could say your name again.
Nikki Beaver.
Wonderful. And Nikki, where are you from?
I am from Arkansas, but I live in Washington, D.C. now.
Great. And you work for the National Association of Republican Women?
National Federation of Republican Women, yes.
Sorry. Okay. So tell me, if you will, for people who are not in the convention hall, which is to say most people out there in America, what was it like being inside there while Donald Trump is giving what was a very, a long, rambling speech?
The energy is incredible. I mean, it was long, but we were all very excited to hear from him, especially after Saturday. And to hear what happened play by play from him on Saturday was very heartwarming and good to hear. He kind of started off a little slow and somber, and I think he fed off of the crowd's energy and excitement for this movement, and he really picked up steam towards the end. The energy is just incredible.
Yeah, describe that if you would for a moment. You've worked on other political campaigns. What distinguishes the Trump campaign from other presidential or down ballot campaigns you may have worked on?
Well, now it is the results that he had and the results that we desperately need in this country right now. The economy is 65% of Americans are struggling and living paycheck to paycheck. And, everybody that you ask, they were better off 4 years ago than they are right now. And so we have a real chance at change and to make America great again, as cheesy as it sounds.
Sounds good. Tori, Tori, yes. Nikki, I apologize. I'm sorry, it's very late. Nikki, thank you so much for your time. All right. We have someone else, Michael.
Look at that. There's so many people willing.
So many people.
How are they still awake?
This is an excellent question. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. Can you tell me your names?
My name is Sandra.
Janessa.
So Sandra and Janessa, where are you guys from?
We're from Madison. Well, no, we are not.
Well,
we're from outside of Madison.
Madison area.
Here.
Okay, so Wisconsin,
Yes.
Yeah.
near Madison,
Yes.
but not Madison proper.
Correct.
If you were in Madison, you're likely to be a Democrat. Is that right?
Yeah, but there's lots. Yeah.
There-
more like-
Maybe.
okay.
Maybe
Okay.
it would depend.
But you live outside.
I would say Madison City is probably more liberal, yes.
With the university and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us, for everyone who is not in the hall, tell us what it was like being in there. Are you guys delegates, or were you? What were you? Just
No, we're
your
guests
guests.
of the delegates,
What was it
yes.
like being in there?
Fantastic. Absolutely amazing. Energy was high. People are positive, super happy, looking forward and being very optimistic about the future. It was awesome.
Did the speech kind of ran long? You didn't feel that
Never. I could listen to him talk to me all day long.
all day?
All day. Whatever
So like,
he wants.
when he leans into the teleprompter or he leans into the lectern and he's just like he goes on one of those.
love it.
You love.
Yep.
So what is it? What feeling does for you do you experience when you're watching Trump on one of these?
It's emotional for me. Like when they play God Bless the USA and he comes out and tearing up. I'm like, thank God you're alive. I just believe he's the savior of the free world and we need him.
Tell me, if you will, for people out there who don't understand what you are feeling, when you say he's the savior of the free world, what exactly? This maybe is hard to describe, but like, what do you have in mind? Like, what is that? Why?
Well, he's got a great business sense, number one.
Mm-hmm.
He's coherent, number two. And
I think his record speaks for
plan,
everything,
and
too.
his record is huge.
What he did in 4 years is amazing.
Yeah, he is a great human being. Like he has faith, family, the American values intact. He is a great human being. And if people would stop twisting his words and taking snippets from what I was listening tonight, and I'm like, oh, there's a snippet they're gonna take and make into something else. If they would just be honest and show the full clips, I don't think that there would be as much opposition. I really don't.
Do you think Trump has evolved or changed in any way from the time when he first ran or when he left office to now? Have there been any changes as far as you can tell, or is he the same person?
I think he's the same person, but I think that he's reined in his snarkiness, and I think that's going to help.
I mean, I asked because I was struck tonight by the sort of very kind of unifying tone, right? I mean, he repeatedly said tonight about how I'm speaking to all Americans. whether you like me or you don't like me. The tone in the 2016 race for sure, and I think in 2020 was more combative and more pugnacious. This time it seemed much more,
I think he's less spicy, right? He's
Yeah.
always said the things that like we feel like he can't say, or like for me, I always loved that about him, that he would just say stuff.
Yeah.
And I think he is, again, like you said, like toning it down. He's less spicy Trump. He's more calmer Trump, and maybe that will help some of the people who are on the.
less spicy Trump.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, I think he is. I think that he has just reined it in a little, where he's making sure that what he's saying is clear, but without the like boardroom penchant behind it. He's used to like doing business deals. He's not a politician in heart. You know what I mean? He is a businessman. So I think he's learning to like rein it in and like less boardroom, more human.
Less boredom, more human.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Thank you.
have a wonderful night.
Great again.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Good night, both of you. You too. You too. So there you have it, Michael.
There you have it, Peter. I think
yeah.
there's a couple things that work here. One is that, people who are in there, as you say, they love it. It could go on forever, and they will
Yes.
be very, very happy. They want Donald Trump. But the thing of people that like us who have to watch it, the difference is that people at home turn it off. They're like, you know what, I got it. And the beginning was great. Fine. And they turn it
Right.
off. I don't know if it has that much of an ultimate negative effect on him for going on that long. We in the media are exhausted by it. And that,
Yeah.
I tell you what, though,
Totally
the
spent.
one thing that I thought was pretty interesting, and I'm interested in your take on it, was that the foreign policy element of it was not as, sort of dovish as I think a lot of people in the Trump camp would like it to be. I mean, he said,
Right.
Hamas, we're going to bring those American hostages home, and you're going to be very sorry if you don't submit to this. Ukraine, something similar.
No, and in fact, he was very explicit about sort of like, Russia being, I think he used the word evil. I mean, he for Republicans who have kind of equivocated about sort of like, Vladimir Putin, there was no doubt sort of like where Donald Trump stands, as of this evening. But I think we have someone else.
You have a special guest?
Sir, okay. Hi, I'm Peter.
Hi, Thomas. Nice to meet you.
Thomas?
Two great saints.
Yes. Thomas, where are you from?
I currently live in Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Grew up in Houston, Texas.
Okay, and are you you're a guest? Okay, so where were you seated? Were you near Trump?
The right of the stage.
The right. Okay.
I could see the right side of the podium.
Got it. Is this your first convention?
Yes.
Why are you here?
Well, we just had a chance to come, and that's a good question. I wanted to be a part of history. I think that's probably be my personal motivation.
So for you, the moment that was like most captivating, exciting, or most evocative, what was it for you? And it was a long speech. What moment stands
It was
out?
near the end, I was actually coming down the escalator trying to remember the words. I was going to look them up later when he was talking about it was sort of that section about American destiny and greatness and being excited about the future. That to me was the most moving of the speech. Yeah.
And what was it like? I think you've been to other Trump rallies, is that right?
No, I'm not.
So this is your first Trump gathering.
Yes. Oh, yes.
What was it like being around all the other Trump supporters there? They've got 18,000 people in the hall. What was it like just sort of being that energy?
Well, I mean, very positive, I would say. It's not angry. Positive, happy, looking forward to the future.
The tone seems to be different now than it was in 2020 or 2016. It's more.
I was actually not very plugged into politics at that time.
Really?
Yeah, working really hard. And
why are you more plugged in now?
Well, I would say probably I went through a lot of kind of personal persecution, and so I kind of connect on that a little bit with President Trump. I mean, probably not on the same scale, of course, but and then I don't know, just got more interested in just kind of changing of interest.
What is it about Trump that you on a more substantive or policy level that you like? What did you hear tonight that you think, okay, that sounds smart?
Oh, well, I mean, the high points that he hit, the border and the economy and all that stuff, which is, that's not surprising. But, he said it. Yeah, everybody criticizes him for not having like specific policy points and all this stuff and not articulating whatever, But he said we're gonna have common sense about doing this. So that's attractive. Like, let's do something that makes sense. But he did articulate several specific things tonight about.
When you mentioned common sense, what is it about that? That stood out to me as well. What is it about that kind of resonated with you?
Well, I mean, I don't think any reasonable person can look at least some of the things that are happening in the country right now and say, that doesn't work. Let's do something that works.
Two examples of things that...
Just from a pure government...
So for the Democrats out there who are watching, who have no idea what you're talking about, maybe one or two examples of things that don't work, in your view.
I would say, if you're struggling to find or keep a job, it should at least be fair to go out and compete for a job or hold your job with sort of even playing field. And you said two problems.
One is fine. I mean, yeah. Tom, listen, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it very much. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right, take care. So there you go. Oh, I think we have I think one more person, or maybe we have other people. Oh, okay, very good. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Great.
I can't believe it, but I'm still here. I'm managing.
Nor can I.
I'm surprised they're still there too.
Sir, I'm Peter Sabotnik. You are?
Mike Robbins from Alaska.
From Alaska? From Alaska. My in-laws are in Alaska.
Right on.
Where?
Part?
Anchorage.
Oh, nice. That's where I'm from.
Okay. Why are you here? Are you a delegate?
I'm a delegate from Alaska, representing the Alaska Republican Party.
Fantastic. So,
And, of course, nominating President Trump.
yes. Tell us what it was like just being inside the hall, like for you, like the thing that, like the feeling of what it was like to be there.
Well, it's an incredible amount of energy. You get all these people together celebrating the future of our country. It was really incredible. I was here in the convention in 2016 when we got nominated the last time.
Yep.
And the feeling was much different this time.
How is it different?
Well, there was a lot more talk about what kind of a person Trump is, and a lot more talk about what he had done. And there's a lot more just emotional attachment to what's happening in our country, I think, with borders and with all of those things. So it was just very emotional this time.
When you say emotional, is that because of the recent assassination attempt or something else that maybe?
It would be hard to separate those two things, of course, because everybody was talking about it. But I think it was emotional prior to that, too. I think that everyone feels this connection with Trump. I think that he spent the last 4 years traveling around the country and building a connection with people, just everyday people. And I think a lot of them are here. I mean, this is I think a very representation of the electorate.
How would you describe the Trump community, the people in like the sort of Trump world, what we call like MAGA? Like how would you describe that community?
Americans who love their country and who want to see our country grow and prosper. And they want everybody to have a job. They want to be able to pay their bills. They want to be able to go to the grocery store and be able to pay for their groceries. I remember calling my wife after Trump got elected the last time and telling her that I was so excited to fill my truck up, which had a 26-gallon gas tank, for under $200 or under $100, right? This time, I remember calling her when gas was $4.15, and I couldn't fill it up once on my credit card.
Yeah.
Because the machine stopped,
Yeah.
And so I think that's who the voters are, just people who want a good life. We just all want to be happy, and we want a good life. We want to be able to go to work, raise our families.
What is the last question? What is the number one misconception that the Trump haters have when it comes to the people who are supporting President or former President Trump?
Well, I don't know. The number one misconception maybe is that we don't like certain kinds of people, or that we hate the Democrats, or any of those kinds of things. And I don't think that's true. I mean, I was talking to somebody today, and she says, "What does unity mean?" And unity means that everybody can work together on making America great.
And you think that that's a feeling which kind of courses through a large part of the Trump?
I think so. I think that everyone here just wants to have a good country.
How is it that things became so confused or confusing where people don't realize that or don't know that? That they don't understand. I mean, there seems to be a disconnect between sort of the way that people inside, sort of the Trump community think of what they're doing and who they are, and people outside who view it as, hostile to, so where they come from.
To like everyday people.
Yes, right.
I think it got confused. I honestly think it had a lot to do with the establishment and with the media and the misconceptions that got propagated by certain members of the media. I think that they had a lot to do with it. I think it's easy to convince people of something when you say it over and over and over again.
Anyway, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.